Honestly, the best feature about Sony cameras is that you can use the end cap here to color balance everything, and it's the best thing ever. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. So let me lock my door, drink some coffee, and we'll get into it.
Editing Jacob here. One quick note at the beginning of the video. Since I'm still in this in-between phase between Moody and Proclaim, I haven't fully been onboarded at Proclaim as far as full missionary training, and so everything in this video may not be 100% up to snuff with the rules that we can rules about what we can and can't say as far as fundraising and everything. So take it with a grain of salt. If you have more questions, reach out to me personally, and I will kind of explain how everything works there. So enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Alright, so there's a couple things that we really need to talk about today. Yeah, I'm going to pull up my notes here, and then we'll get into it. So, the biggest thing we need to talk about is what's happening and what's happening next. Because there's been a lot of change, there's been a lot of developments. And while change and developments are good, sometimes it means there's more work to do. And again, obviously there's nothing bad with that. I've never been one to shy away from work, but it's still something we need to talk about. So, let's jump right in. So as most of you know, if you don't, welcome to the channel. My name's Jacob Eastep, photographer, videographer. I do some drone stuff on the side for fun, and I used to be a music producer. I also edit podcasts and help brands with recognition, and I now work in social media. That's a really long list. I need to figure out how to shorten that. If you don't know, I am a student at Moody Aviation, and the goal was to become a pilot. So there was a couple things that happened, didn't let me get a medical. I'm still fighting for that because it's one of those things, if you stop fighting, you don't ever get it. But I then had to pivot to doing a different degree path, and that degree path ended up being an integrated ministries degree. Now, what does that mean? Well, if anyone from Moody is watching this, I'm not trying to offend the school, but it's effectively a catch-all degree. It's for those who either realize they don't want to go into mission aviation, they don't want to be in maintenance, or they can't do either. Now, for me personally, I'm not amazing with maintenance. If any of my instructors are watching this, you know that firsthand. I get my way through, but it doesn't go crazy well. And then obviously I couldn't do flight because of medical. So I transitioned over to this catch-all degree. And that's where I am now. So this semester I'm only taking one course. The Biblical Ethics course. It's a really fun course, and it's cool because it lets me kind of touch on the hot button issues and kind of learn the best ways to discuss it. I took a philosophy course, loved it, and I've taken ethics courses in the past and loved them as well. So this one's not much different. Now, also, we're only a couple minutes in. What are we at? All right, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. If you have a lot to do today, come back to this video. I'll try and put chapters in it. This is going to be a long video. I'm in the course, and this course ends November 15th or 16th, I believe. Now, unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate. We'll get into that. So after this class ends, I'll be done with my time at Moody. Done. I will be a Moody graduate, and then I won't have a ceremony then. That'll be in June of 26. I'll fly or drive back up here for that, and I'll walk in cap and gown, and yeah, all that'll happen then. After that, I'll go into partnership development training, and that's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then after that, I will be doing partnership development and fundraising from December until, I believe my current contract says March. And basically that's a time for me to go around to different churches, to different organizations, and explain what I'm doing and raise money. Now, the goal, my current goal, it's interesting. There's a couple different goals. There's one statistic at Proclaim where I'm going to be working that says fully funded is $6,000 a month. My current goal is going to be around $3,200 a month because that's what I need to be fully supported to come online. So $3,200 and change. That could change a little bit, pun intended, but that's the number we're shooting for. So I'll be going around explaining to churches, looking for donors, and trying to get up to that number. During that time, Proclaim will be providing me a salary, and then after I have reached that, my goal will then go a little bit higher to kind of backfeed to pay all of the months where they've been paying me and I haven't had any income personally. So there may be a little bit of technical error in what I just said, but the majority of that is true. Proclaim pays me while I'm fundraising. After I've fundraised X amount, I will then be fundraising even more on top of that to backfeed that fund that they depleted while they were supporting me while I was trying to support myself. So that's kind of how that looks. Let's go ahead and get into the next chapter. What am I going to be doing? Well, as you know, I have been doing social media, video, photo, all of these things for over a decade now. I started back in 2015 with a dream to do music, did that, transitioned to photo video a little bit later, and then after that, obviously, graduated high school, did it for a couple summer camps, did it for a school, did it for this, that, and the other, moved out here, did some odd jobs, worked with AI companies, and all that kind of stuff. Now, as I'm leaving Moody, I'm transitioning into it full-time, which is really cool and really exciting, and basically the goal is to help share with the world and share with Proclaim missionaries what Proclaim does. So one thing a lot of different organizations realize they struggle with is when they have missionaries who are spread very widely across the globe, they realize that those missionaries can't always connect with the home office. And while that's not the end-all of everything, one issue that can then share and become is they don't feel like they're a necessary part of something. And this shows itself even more fully when we have missionaries who are instructors at schools. So Proclaim has missionaries at Moody Aviation, and they're instructors there. MAF has some as well. Ethnos 360 has some as well. And basically what we see happening then is a lot of these missionaries don't feel like they're really part of something bigger because they never left the country. They're doing stateside missions. Now, before I kind of explain how that works, stateside missions is not bad. Stateside missions is crucial, and stateside missions is part of a very, very, very big project and a very big goal. So there's nothing bad with stateside missions, and it looks very different for many different people. I will be a stateside missionary. I'll travel a lot, but I'm going to be a stateside missionary. So that's kind of a rough idea of what I'll be doing. I will be going around and helping build bonds and grow, and of course, yes, growing Proclaim's own social media aspect as well. Because, I mean, in today's economy, you have to have an online presence. I mean, I do, everyone does. And especially when you're an organization, you need to be able to siphon people from the general populace into your organization for fundraising, for awareness, etc. And so what a lot of these organizations will do is go to events like Oshkosh, where I was recently, and they will kind of help share what they're doing, sharing the vision, sharing how they're doing it, and sharing. This year, what we did was we shared the why behind Mission Aviation. And of course, as believers know, the why behind Mission Aviation is to see the gospel of Christ spread throughout the world, and of course, aviation is the tool we use that for. Now, I'm not going to go into my whole Proclaim pitch. That's a story for a different day. So, that's kind of what I'll be doing, is I'm going to be connecting people back to the main hub, and hey, you're part of something amazing, let's share that, and also give you access to content to share with your supporters, so it's not just the same content rehashed over and over and over and over. Because, I mean, when you're an instructor and you're teaching the same thing year after year, your content might get a little dry. So what I would love to see is them to have access to a stockpile of content, as it were, so that they can share that with their supporters and their donors. Now, speaking of supporters and donors, there's a lot of different ways support raising is done. And especially in 2025, 2026, when we look at the broad scope of the financial aspect of living, there's a lot of different thoughts about it. And Proclaim has an interesting way of doing it, kind of like I mentioned previously. You don't donate to the Proclaim missionary, so you don't donate to me. You donate to Proclaim with me as the memo line, kind of. Now, if you actually are curious and donating to me and donating to Proclaim for me, you can reach out to me via email. I'll put that email here on the screen. It's the first time actually sharing this email with the world, so that's kind of nice and fancy. estep@proclaimaviation.org. If you want to get to know more about how that works, go ahead and contact me and we can chat. as far as other donations while I'm still here at Moody, there's a wide spectrum of different ways you can do that. And the one I'd really love to show you now is actually on my website. And I actually recently rebuilt my website to make this more conducive and easier for all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a lovely little... What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my website here, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit about how this looks from my website. There's a lot of different ways you can do this, and I have a bunch here on my website for you to see. So let's go ahead and go to my website. So just by starting off, just go ahead and go to jacobeastepphotography.com. The link is in the description below, and it's also on all my social medias. Now, here's my lovely website. This isn't going to be a full tour, but I will show you a little bit. So we have my banner up here, E-Step Expeditions, client work, contact, projects, and more. If you want to take time to go through all this later, that's great. Going down, here's Getting in the Know Now. Here's my digital prayer letter. Here's my email newsletter for my company. Now, I haven't shared much for that one in a little bit, and so I think what I'm going to do is probably start sending these out again, or I might just merge them because the company side is going to be a little bit more deviated from anything that's actually happening. Then we got some pictures, and we got my bottom card here. Now, if we go here to E-Step Expeditions, you're going to instantly probably get hit with a login page. That's great. That's just to keep bots out. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. I've got my lovely email address. Where's my Touch ID sensor? There it is. Okay, now when you log in, you're going to be faced with this. These are the digital projects I've signed up for. You can kind of close that, and here's my hub. You want to get financially, click the button below to learn more. We'll get into that in a minute. I just want to give you a little more understanding of how this works. So down here is my three main ways of communication. My prayer letters, my prayer vine, and my Telegram channel. Now, there's a distinct goal behind each of these. Prayer letters are both digital and printed. I do both because a lot of my audience still prefers physical mail. A lot of my friends, their entire audience is digital, and that's great. Whatever works for you. So if we go here, this will take you to all of my prayer journal entries, and you can click on them to read them. So, for example, if we go to my first prayer letter, we can click it, and here's this prayer letter. These are just screenshots of the letter because that's just the easiest way for me to do this here. So here's my most recent one here from August of this year. So Journal 2, Entry 2, this is kind of talking about my path forward. There's a picture of me at Oshkosh. If you want to sign up for that prayer letter, you saw the link on the other page. Now, if we switch over to Prayer Vine, this is basically where I can send a spur-of-the-moment prayer request. It's kind of a more broad version of a portion of my Telegram channel. And basically, the goal behind Prayer Vine is, like I said, to send stuff out very quickly. Now, with this, let me go over to Prayer Vine real quick. Prayer Vine, I think, is actually what it is. Yeah, Prayer Vine. Basically, I'll have to blur that. I can just send out these prayer requests really short, really sweet, and to the point. They can be long, they can be short, but the goal is just have them out. The people who are signed up get a quick email, and they can hit praying, or they can actually put some text in to get a little more context from me if they're curious. So that's kind of how Prayer Vine works. Telegram, I'm going to open my phone here and start a screen recording. And basically, my Telegram channel is designed in a way, come on, there we go, to show you a lot of different things. So I have a prayer request section. So here I've been dealing with a ton of issues with my car, and I put those in. Day in the life content, just some pictures, some videos of stuff that's going on with my life. That's always fun. You can see some forest fires there. Prayer letters, again, here is kind of where I'm just dumping prayer letters in again. My goal is to make everything accessible as possible, so that's one way I do it. In general, that's just, hey, welcome to everybody. Just kind of random thoughts with Jacob E-Step. Life updates, that's kind of effectively prayer letters, but it's a much more informal and kind of just long-winded, me just kind of vomiting at the camera, or at my phone rather, for text type to speech. And then, of course, we have photos of the day that I haven't done anything since February. So that's that link there. And I'll go ahead and stop that screen recording. Dandy, dandy. And that's kind of how that works for that portion. Okay, cool. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're only at 17 minutes, guys. We're so close to the end. Trust the process. Okay, so that's Pravine. Now, read my blog. That's going to take you over to my journal entries. That's just another way in case you forget. All right, let's go to the giving portal, shall we? Okay. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. I'm dying. Click on eStep Expeditions. Give now. Awesome. So here's the giving portal. This is a very simple way of doing it. It's clearly not fully thought out yet, but I want to give you guys as many options as possible. So Venmo, that's just a click here. And these haven't been linked fully, but these are all my usernames. So Venmo at Jacob_eStep. Zelle, you can reach me by email or phone number. By check, you can mail to my current house. This will change when I move, or it might end up changing to my parents' address, since when I graduate here, they're trying to fill this room, so I will not live here anymore. Cash App and PayPal. Those are the easiest ways right now for you to give, if you're curious. And just going back to the members page here, yeah, so I mean, this is, like I said here, this is really just a hub so people can see what's going on in my life. So, that was a really quick look at everything that's going on. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Wow, we actually made it up to 20 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, I'm really thankful for all your support, all your prayers, everything. Of course, it's truly felt, and I know that I'm in a really good place right now, and I'm following what the Lord wants for me, so that's obviously really exciting. I've never felt, is there nerves and everything? Yes, but I've also never felt so sure of something in my life that I'm doing the right thing. Coming to Moody, I knew was the right thing. Staying at Wheaton wasn't. Coming to Moody was correct. I don't think that meant that it was the right thing permanently. And so being able to pivot to something else like this is really exciting, but also very freeing. And so, of course, I'm thankful for all the prayers and everything, and it's just really encouraging to see what's happening next. And I'm really glad you guys can be a part of it. Hopefully, this wasn't too long-winded of a video, and I answered a lot of your questions. If you have more questions, obviously reach out. My phone number's on the screen, as is my Proclaim and personal emails, and we can pick up there. So, yeah, I'm really excited to have you guys on board and kind of seeing what's next. Be sure to check out the links below and follow me on all my social medias, because I do post there decently frequently, and I will catch you guys in the next video.